The champions of the Western Hockey League, the Thunderbirds and the Blazers, back here in the Coliseum, back here on Prime Sports at 10:30. Carries it into the Seattle zone. Jeff Sebastian, who had a big game last night, bumped along the boards. In to get it, Jarrett Dooling. He's held up by Troy Hyatt of Seattle. Osgood peering around, trying to find the puck. It's out in front, and it's kicked loose in the slot as Todd Johnson came in with a shot. The wrist shot misses wide. Ewell trying to keep it in. McCausland pokes it loose and rolls around behind. Eddie Patterson upended in the corner. He's a former Thunderbird. Wayne Maruschuk clears it for Seattle, but there's Ewell again to send it back behind. Osgood very good with the stick, and he finds Maruschuk at the blue line. Dwayne dumps it in. The Thunderbirds will make a change. Back to get it is Scott Niedermeyer. And he'll touch, icing the call, will bring it back into the Seattle zone. There's a good look at Niedermeyer, first-round pick of the New Jersey Devils. That was in 1990. Niedermeyer, the third overall in that draft. Turner Stevenson of the Thunderbirds, of course, the Montreal Canadiens' first-round pick.
Of course, Scott Niedermeyer played most or half the year up in New Jersey.
Yeah, you're right. Niedermeyer's played in the NHL, and Daryl Sador played a part of the season with the Los Angeles Kings. He's the other first-round pick. The Blazers have a total of 6 NHL draft picks on their team, and they have another 2 or 3 guys that might go in the NHL draft come June. Chris Wells will take the drop for Seattle. He's matched up against Shane Green, who's Minnesota North Star property. Wells wins the drop, and here come the Thunderbirds. Stevenson leads the charge. Seattle has yet to send a shot at Corey Hirsch. Shane Green out to the point. Witt with a slap shot that's wide. Stevenson with a big hit as he knocks Mathers into the boards. But the Blazers, who are so solid defensively, carry it out. Niedermeyer drops it off for Green. Tries to center. Stevenson kicks it loose. Joel Dick behind the Seattle net. Out to a point. It's kept in by Rob Lawlisher, veteran defenseman. Back over to Green. Bounces it behind. There's Zach Boyer. He's a Blackhawk draft pick, a 4th-round pick of last year. Rolls it behind for Green. He tries to center, and Blake Knox brings it out for Seattle. Blazers send it right back in. Kamloops has kept the puck in the Seattle zone early on. We're 2 minutes in, no score, first period. Niedermeyer back to collect it. Finds a lane and finds neutral ice. Up to Watchorn. Jeff dumps it in. Osgood will be forced to sweep it up for Craig Chapman, the Thunderbird captain. Avoids the check by Craig Lyons and shoots it out to neutral ice. David Wilkie there for the Blazers. He's hit into the boards by Big George Zajankala. Osgood clears it himself. Kamloops sends it right back in. The Blazers are oh so tough defensively, and Danny, that's not just on their own blue line. Those D-men are very active. They can come up and hurt you in your own zone.
That is what Seattle has to do tonight. They have to cut off the Russian lanes of those Kamloops defensemen. Just not Niedermeyer and Sador. They also have a young prospect in David Wilkie.
The leader of the Thunderbirds is Turner Stevenson, and he leads by example.
This is how Turner Stevenson started the game last night. Looks like he's going to take off where he left off last night. Big hit there. Those are the kind of hits that I think brings up the bench on your team and gets everyone else going.
Those totals are in only 58 games this year. Remember, Stevenson, along with Niedermeyer and Sador of Kamloops, played for Team Canada in the junior championships in Germany.
Yeah, they weren't very successful overseas. I believe they didn't win a medal. It's unusual for Canada.
Yep, very unusual. Daryl Sador was Stevenson's teammate, and he rolls it in around behind Osgood. Chris has had an active game, but he hasn't had to make any saves yet. He's been handling the puck a lot. Jeff Sebastian, property of the Winnipeg Jets, flips it into the Kamloops zone. Scott Ferguson clearing it quickly. Ryan Huska on his first shift plays it in, and Dick will have to go back to get it. Joel Dick trying to escape from behind his net. Plays it ahead. Paul Nichols. He lost the puck, and it's back into the Seattle zone. The Thunderbirds have been unable to get the puck and keep it in the Kamloops end.
Kamloops doing a good job of clogging up the neutral zone right now. Seattle is trying to carry the puck to no avail.
Sador plays it in. Sebastian retrieves it. Up ahead for McCausland. Good job of forechecking by the Blazers. Finally, Kennedy comes out to neutralize. Mike trying to get by the blue line. Gets by Sador. Rolls it behind Hirsch. Chapman at a right wing. In the corner for Maruschuk. He couldn't hold it. Into the corner goes McCausland and Patterson. They were teammates a few years ago here in Seattle. And the puck is frozen. They'll drop it in the Kamloops zone. We're just underway. 4 minutes in. Stick with us. It's going to be a great night of hockey.
To some, the world just looks better from a different angle. For those select few, Honda built the CBR 900RR, CBR 600F2, and VFR 750F. Enjoy the view.
Everett Honda, Washington's #1 Honda dealer with the state's largest inventory.
These are the two coaches tonight. Tom Rennie of the Blazers was the 1990-91 Western Hockey League Coach of the Year, and he was an assistant coach on that Canadian junior team that competed in the World Championships this year. Peter Anhold of the Thunderbirds, a guy that has done a great job in his 3 years here in Seattle. Thunderbirds win the drop. Kurt Sayre plays it down for Knox. Niedermeyer in the corner. Up ahead, he clears it to Zach Boyer. And Kamloops is back towards the Seattle line. Niedermeyer overskated. Wells knocks it loose. Osgood drops it off for Kurt Sayre. Thunderbirds clear it. Wells, a man to beat. He'll send her in, and it's off the skates of defenseman Steve Ewell. Wells in the corner, battling with Boyer. And the whistle will stop play. They'll drop it to the right of Hirsch. This is one team, Kamloops, that almost matches up with Seattle size-wise, because the Blazers have a lot of strength and a lot of size. Both teams have guys that can put it in the back of the net. Mike Kennedy, the leading scorer for the Thunderbirds in the regular season. Boyer, a fourth-round pick of the Blackhawks, had 109 points this year in the regular season. And the Blazers always seem to have a guy that can put it in the back of the net, don't they?
Well, that's their trademark, scoring a lot of goals, and this year they're doing it along with strong defense. Of course, Zach Boyer, along with Craig Lyons, has done the majority of the scoring for the Blazers this year.
You go back the past few years, guys like Rob Brown, who is now in Chicago, Greg Hoggood, a solid defenseman, and Mark Recchi.
Just amazing junior players, those guys.
Recchi, of course, played for the Stanley Cup champs, the Penguins, last year, and now finds himself in Philadelphia. Puck back into the Seattle zone. We're still scoreless 5 minutes into this first period. George Zajankala sends it out ahead. Sebastian touch pass for Chapman, a touch too hard. And Jeff Watchorn clears it. Back to the Seattle line. Defenseman Troy Hyatt up ahead for Eric Bouchard. He's had a very good tournament. Hyatt towards the net. A deflection by Chapman is just wide. And that's the first real chance that the Thunderbirds have had in the first 5.5 minutes of this hockey game. We are scoreless. Scott Niedermeyer rolls it up to Watchorn. He avoids a Chapman check. Witt sends a shot in. And the first stop for Corey Hirsch.
Craig Lyons did a great job of back-checking on Chapman on the previous play.
Blazers work it out of their own end. Shooting it ahead is Lyons. Stopped at the Seattle line. Back up ice comes McCausland. Winding, shooting, and down to block it, Watchorn. And it's back out to neutral ice. Darren McCausland has one of the hardest slap shots in the Western Hockey League. Brendan Witt. Now for McCausland. Give it to Kennedy. Back for McCausland. Tees it up again with a shot, and Hirsch makes the save. Rebound is loose, but the Blazers clear it up to the boards. Kennedy along the boards. Pumped from behind. Crowd wanted a penalty. This is Ryan Brown with a shot, and it's stopped and held by Hirsch. Thunderbirds in a flurry, getting 3 shots on net, their first 3 of the game.
Causing a lot of wood off his blast off the top of the circles. Hirsch stands tall, though. He plays a classic stand-up style. Here's Darren. He can unleash it.
Man, that's tough. Going down to block it was Rob Lawlisher.
Those Blazers know that McCausland can fire the puck. They're going to try and get in the way of it to help out their goaltender.
Corey Hirsch, 8th round pick of the New York Rangers. He's had a great year, and you know, the number that impresses me most is not up there. It's his save percentage. He had a .920 save percentage, which is almost unreal in major junior hockey.
It's really unheard of.
Brown again, and he just missed it wide. Out to a wing and cleared by Zach Boyer. Boyer and Wells collide. David Wilkie shoots, save, rebound. Osgood making his first stop. Into the corner it goes, off the stick of Boyer. Back behind for Shane Green. Sends it out, knocks, backhands it, can't clear it though. Stevenson plays it off the blue line, and it rolls back around behind Osgood. He'll stop it, drop for Ryan Brown. Clearing pass, stopped by Wilkie, who is from Everett, Washington, believe it or not. We'll talk a lot about that young man as the night goes along. Knox at the line, finally gets it across. Sador back to pick it up. He'll drop it off to Wilkie. 6'3", 210 pounds. Wilkie is projected to go in the middle of the first round of the NHL draft coming up next month. Seattle plays it into the Kamloops end. Hirsch will stop and drop behind. Wilkie fans on a clearing pass. Bumped by Zajankala, but gets it back. Neutralized, he'll flip it in. Sebastian, the first one back. Good forecheck there by Scott Laux. Out to Ewell, his shot, and deflected by Osgood. Around behind, Lance Johnson. Bumped along the far side. Johnson gets it to a point, and a shot and a save by Osgood. And hold on here, Jeff Sebastian and Scott Laux. And the linesmen quickly come in to separate the two. It's something we haven't seen a whole lot of in the Memorial Cup. The gloves have stayed on the mitts, so to speak. Laux and Sebastian are being separated. And away from the play, we have something else brewing. Brett Duncan of the Thunderbirds jawing with one of the Blazers. And it looks like things have calmed down. We'll see when we get back.
Oh, yeah.
New Rainier Ice Lager Draft and Draft Light, found in all the cool places.
Welcome back to the Coliseum. The Blazers and the Thunderbirds are 8 minutes in. Big scramble around the Seattle net. Chris Osgood making a save. Scott Laux goes in behind and tries to stir things up.
Of course, this all started with the giveaway behind the net, and Osgood did get a piece from that point shot from Ewell.
Thunderbirds are going to get a power play out of this. Laux gets a double minor for roughing. Sebastian gets 2 minutes for roughing. So a double minor to Laux, and Sebastian on your right is sequestered in the Thunderbird box. And so here comes the Seattle power play that really misfired last night, Danny. They were just 0 of 7.
Of course, that was the key to last night's game, of course. 0 for 7, of course, giving up that shorthanded marker late in the game.
2 games in the Memorial Cup. Thunderbirds are just 3 of 16. Let's see if they've made some adjustments. Sayre will bring it ahead. He's shadowed there by Lance Johnson. Short-handed Johnson takes it away and sends it down the ice. And Joel Dick will try to set this rush up. Thunderbirds got very few shots in their power plays last night. Sayre winds it in. And this is a different look as they dump and chase. Stevenson in the corner, trying to free it up for Knox. Out to a point, Dick. He'll load it up. Deflected. Hirsch made the save. Loose out front, and Hirsch will hold it. Corey Hirsch has very good hands. Very quick hands.
He does. And of course, he plays his angle so well. He doesn't have to make the great lunging saves. He's always in such great position.
Mike Kennedy had a tremendous playoffs. The Thunderbirds, of course, beating Tri-Cities, then Spokane, and then losing to Kamloops. And the Blazers, after winning their first-round series over Tacoma, had a bye, beat the Thunderbirds, and then went on to win the Western Hockey League Championship.
You see those Blazers, they got 3 of their defensemen up there and high in scoring. They carry a lot of the offense for their teams.
Lance Johnson takes the drop against Kennedy. Kennedy wins it for Seattle, but the puck squirts between the point men, and McCausland has to go back to his own end to retrieve it. Stevenson blindsided by Ewell. 2-on-1. Knox and Kennedy. Knox will shoot it. Deflected wide. Knox never got it out front. Pokes it out to a point. Hyatt winding, shooting, deflected. Hirsch pokes it away. Boyer can't clear. Hyatt keeps it in. Around behind for Kennedy. There's Stevenson with a hit, and he's going to get tagged for a penalty as he buried Daryl Sador. And you see Turner Stevenson maybe a little surprised by the call.
Great play by Daryl Sador, blocking the pass by Knox earlier, breaking up the 2-on-1. A little frustration, I think, there on Turner's part.
Here's that break. Knox never got the puck out front.
No, here's Sador covering the pass lane. Knox couldn't feather it over. Tough pass. He had to lay it over the stick of Sador onto the stick of Stevenson. He just couldn't do it.
Here's Sador behind the net, and here's where Stevenson gets tagged for the penalty.
Kennedy had Sador wrapped up. That's a questionable call, I think, there. Doesn't seem to be much of a cross-check, but they're going to be even up for 55 seconds, and then the Blazers will go on the power play.
So both teams a man short. Stevenson in the box for 2. We're still scoreless. 9 minutes into this first period. Hirsch will drop it behind. Mike Mathers clears it out to Niedermeyer. Bumps between Witt and Quirin. In comes Mathers. He'll shoot. Osgood down to make the save as he squeezed the pads tight. Dick and Mathers in the corner. Rod Stevens is in there also for Kamloops. He and Maruschuk jousting. Blazers lose it, and Brendan Witt will bring it out to neutralize. He's bounced along the boards. Wilkie clears it. Mathers finds Niedermeyer. He can scoot. Drops it off to Stevens. His shot just wide. Rebounds up to Quirin. Here come the Thunderbirds. Whistle behind the play. A slash on Seattle. Birds had the numbers. They had a 2-on-1 brewing. But behind the play, Niedermeyer went down. And the Thunderbirds are going to go down. Not only one man, but 2. Because only 3 seconds is left on the double roughing to Scott Louts.
Niedermeyer did a great player there, what a lot of good players do. When he dropped the puck off to Rod Stevens, he headed straight to the net. And that frustrated Joel Dick, and he took kind of a cheap call there, a cheap slashing attempt on Niedermeyer. Right there, Niedermeyer went for a little bit of a dive, and it obviously worked.
Boy, the Kamloops Blazers on the regular season were a 28% power play team. That is outstanding. They have struggled in the Memorial Cup, though. They've gone just 1 for 11. But this power play, at least for the first minute, will be 5 on 3. It starts now. This is Sador with a shot that's deflected up over Osgood. Sayre trying to clear. Can't get it past Niedermeyer. He'll work it along the blue line. It's a 5 on 3 advantage. We're scoreless halfway into this first period. Shane Green down low out front, a shot wide from Craig Lyons. Out to a point. Niedermeyer back to Lyons, winding, shooting. It's deflected off the skate of Hyatt, and the Thunderbirds will make a change. 35 seconds left in the 5 on 3. A minute 25 left in the overall power play. Out front, Chapman's got it and clears it. That'll buy some more time for the Thunderbird penalty killers. And there's Hirsch way out to help his power play unit out. Brings it across. Sador at the blue line. Niedermeyer winding, shooting, and it's high over the glass. Sador back to Niedermeyer in the slot. Saved by Osgood. Rebound, and Osgood got a piece of it somehow. He turned away Lyons from the right circle. Niedermeyer out front. Sador. Lyons hit the post. On comes Stevenson. It's a 5 on 4 advantage. Stevenson with a check in the slot. Cleared by McCausland. 40 seconds left in the power play, and the Thunderbirds have dodged 1 bullet. But they still have half a minute to kill in a 5 on 4 advantage. Hyatt touches, icing. It'll come down into the Kamloops end.
Great control by the Blazers there throughout that two-man advantage. Sure is pretty to watch Sador and Niedermeyer. They show such patience out on the point. You see no panic whatsoever. Here's Niedermeyer walking in, getting a golden opportunity.
Here's the big save, right there.
And Osgood able to get the rebound with his glove.
That was just good positioning because Osgood's glove was there, and it was almost as if Lyons hit the glove.
It did, but the thing on that play was Osgood was in a position to get back on his feet and get himself in position for Lyons' shot. Nice save there by Osgood.
Thunderbird shorthanded, win the drop in the Kamloops end. Bouchard kicks it out, and Sebastian hits referee Brad Watson to the delight of the fans in the Seattle Center Coliseum. 20 seconds left in this Kamloops power play. Chapman picks it off at the blue line, sends it ahead. Bouchard running some clock, and here come the Blazers. Jarrett dueling with the puck, getting by Sebastian. Around behind Osgood for Eddie Patterson, kicked away and cleared. And the power play is history. Joel Dick comes on, and the Thunderbirds have killed two very big Kamloops power plays. Wilkie comes out to neutralize. 8 minutes left in the first. Osgood a glove stop. And he'll sweep it behind for Zajankla. Waiting there, though, is Dueling. Drop it off to Patterson. Shot wide. Osgood pokes it. And the Birds cover up out in front of the crease. 7 minutes and 55 seconds left in the first period. The Blazers and the Birds scoreless.
Did you know you can see the finest in NASCAR stock car racing action right in your own backyard? Evergreen Speedway Monroe and South Sound Speedway south of Olympia offer racing every Saturday night, April through September, including the prestigious Winston Racing Series. Take the whole family and don't miss the exciting racing action every Saturday night. Evergreen Speedway at the Fairgrounds in Monroe. Gates open at 5, racing at 7. And South Sound Speedway south of Olympia off I-5 at exit 88. Gates open at 5:30, racing at 7:30. NASCAR racing at its best. Saturday nights, Evergreen Speedway and South Sound Speedway.
Rich Waltz along with Danny Lorenz back at the Coliseum. Danny, when we looked at this graphic, something jumped out at you.
Yeah, it was, very unusual to see 4 games where Seattle only scored 1 goal. That is great defense by the Blazers.
Kamloops beating Seattle in the West Division Finals, but they meet here in the Memorial Cup. Around behind Osgood. Dwayne Maruschuk for Seattle, bumped along the boards by Jeff Watchhorn. Sebastian trying to escape. Blazer forecheckers in, knock it loose. Kennedy pinned along the boards by Stevens. Finally, Sebastian brings it out. Up for McCausland, pass behind him, and Steve Ewell intercepts. Into the Seattle zone. Kennedy. Michael. Winds it along the boards. Ewell back to collect it again. Blazer D-men are very active and very, very skilled with the puck. Maruschuk hitting the corner by Craig Lyons. Lyons and Maruschuk still dancing. Dwayne trying to hold it in there while Lyons is just trying to loosen it up. And Maruschuk succeeds. So the drop stays to the right of Osgood in the Seattle zone.
Kamloops right now seems to have the jump on Seattle. I think the penalty sure shifted the momentum to the Kamloops side. Now Seattle has to change it and go back the other way and start putting some pressure on Hirsch like before the penalties.
Maruschuk, one of the little guys for this Thunderbird team. But one thing about the little guys for Seattle, they're very, very tough. Guys like Maruschuk and Craig Chapman, they are not afraid to go into the corners. It's a very physical team. Kurt Sayre out ahead for Wells. Stevenson trails the play. And the Birds came in offsides. If they touch it, the whistle will blow, and it does. So the drop comes out between the blue lines. We're scoreless with 6:51 left in the first period. Turner Stevenson would like to bring his Birds into Sunday's championship game. This game tonight, though not determining who will get there on Sunday, will set the stage for the semifinal game, which is at 1 o'clock on Saturday here in Seattle. These two teams will meet again. Niedermeyer. Osgood sends it up to the board. Sayre trying to clear. Gives to Knox. There hasn't been much open ice in this game. And Knox can't find any right now. Trying to get around Niedermeyer. Throws it to Stevenson, who kicked it towards Hirsch. It's scooped up by Lyons. Zach Boyer plays for Mathers. Back for Boyer, and it's intercepted by Stevenson and cleared out to center. Steve Ewell dumps it right back in. The Blazers will make a change. It should give Seattle a chance to bring it across. Dueling. Give it up for Todd Johnson. He's upended on a good check by Eric Bouchard. Witt plays it ahead to Chapman. Thunderbirds poke it ahead. Bouchard rolls it in. He and Niedermeyer collide in the corner. Daryl Sador there to get it. And shoots it out to Eddie Patterson at center ice. He avoids George Sajankala. Whistles it in behind Osgood. 5.5 minutes left in the first. Still scoreless. Bouchard up for Chapman. Kick back in, and Dick has to go back to get it. Retreats behind Osgood. Shoots it up ahead to Zajankala. Big George had 3 goals on Saturday in the opener. And he'll shoot there. It's deflected wide. Watchorn clears. And Sebastian's got it at the Seattle line. Up ahead for Kennedy. A 2-line pass is going to bring it into the Seattle zone.
It feels like watching up here that each team is waiting for the other team to make something happen. I think once someone finally breaks through on a goal, it will pick up the level of play.
Sador, the Los Angeles Kings first-round pick in 1990. He was the 7th player taken overall. Those numbers you saw, 9 goals and 39 assists, came in only 29 regular season games because he spent the first 3 months of the year with the LA Kings. Did you face him at all this year?
Not this year, but I remember facing him when I did play junior, and that was his first year, and he was great back then. So no doubt he'll be in a King uniform next year.
Sador winds it, or rather Niedermeyer, who was in a New Jersey Devil uniform much of the year, winds it in. Sebastian ahead to Nichols. And the Blazers were offside. Well, it comes back out to neutral. 4:50 left in the first. There's Mr. Niedermeyer. I'm sure his life made miserable by the movie Animal House.
There he is, sporting the traditional playoff beard.
What is this? Jack McDowell, Mark McGuire, and now Scott Niedermeyer. The new, I guess the latest craze to hit sports is the goatee.
The goatee. Of course, Niedermeyer probably grown it since the start of the playoffs. I think it looks great. That's
a tradition, isn't it? You start the playoffs, and until you're out, you keep growing.
Even the guys who can't grow in try to grow in.
It's worked for McGuire and McDowell. They're having the 2 best years for a hitter and a pitcher in the American League, and I guess it's working for Mr. Niedermeyer. I don't know if Bart could grow something like that.
No, he's still a little young, I think.
The Thunderbirds really have not put much pressure on Corey Hirsch. They have yet to get guys like Kennedy out into the open ice and let him cut loose.
No, they haven't, but the Blazers haven't allowed the Thunderbirds to do that. They have taken away the middle ice in the neutral zone, and they have done a good job of just dumping it in and forechecking the Thunderbirds.
Dueling and Kennedy in the Thunderbird zone, and now Kennedy is sent out.
Kennedy has to start getting some goals and some playmaking for the Thunderbirds for them to succeed.
Blazers control it in the Seattle zone. Kamloops has enjoyed a couple of power plays tonight. The Thunderbirds are 0 of 1 on theirs. 4:22 left in a scoreless first period. Johnson up ahead for Lawlisher. Leaves it back. Johnson with a shot saved by Osgood. Batted down by Maruschuk, and he almost knocked it in the net. Around behind, dueling. Bumped by Hyatt. Maruschuk trailing the play. Up to Kennedy. He's hit at the blue line, and the Blazers keep the pressure on. Seattle very few times has been able to get it out of their zone and carry it all the way into the Kamloops end. Mike Kennedy trying to bounce it by Boyer. Finds Sebastian. Seattle will break it out with McCausland leading the charge. He coughs it up to Ewell. Ferguson shoots it ahead, and Joel Dick in a familiar pose. Back deep in his end, clearing the puck. Up to McCausland. 3.5 left in a scoreless first. McCausland off balance with a shot, followed by Kennedy, and it's wide. Cutting to the net, Bouchard. And Bouchard whacked in the face. And if it draws blood, it might be a 5-minute major. Bouchard in the slot really got hammered.
Scott Ferguson going for the loose puck that bounced up in the air, and it caught Bouchard in the facial area. I don't know if it caught him on the visor or beneath him. So the puck went up in the air. Oh, on he went, missed the puck and caught Bouchard squarely.
Here's another angle. It was not, well, it hurt, but it wasn't flagrant.
No.
He was trying to knock the puck down, and Bouchard entered the scene.
On a play like that, Ferguson, his first instinct is just to knock for the puck. You know, he has no idea that Bouchard's going to be right there, and you know that's more instinct, and it wasn't intentional at all.
Ferguson for high sticking, and your first reaction when something like that happens, and I know it's a, and the crowd is reacting because I think they felt like I did. Your first reaction is, boy, if it does draw blood, it's a 5-minute major. I know it's a macabre thing to think, but that's the initial reaction, and that's what the folks here in Seattle thought.
And Scott Ferguson would also get a game misconduct. You see the showers early, but it didn't draw blood. An opportunity for the Thunderbirds here to cash in with this now little drought they have going.
Tom Rennie, the coach of the year in the Western Hockey League in 1990 and 91. He sees his Blazer team go shorthanded for the second time in this first period. 3:15 left in the period. We're still scoreless. Ewell trying to clear it. Sayre keeps it at a point. Thunderbirds power play lasted for a minute, and then they committed a penalty of their own. In comes Green. Couldn't get a shot away. McCausland back to collect it. Jeff Sebastian bumped at the line. Green lost it. Ewell plays it out to center. Kurt Sayre had a goal last night. Strange bounce out of the corner, but Ewell is there to clear the slot and the puck.
Good job of the Blazers forwards of angling off the Thunderbird defensemen when they reach the red line.
Sayre guns it in. Knox back behind. Daryl Sador finds a lane and clears the puck. The Blazer penalty killers this year gave up power play goals at only a 21% clip. In this Memorial Cup, in 2 games, Kamloops has only been shorthanded 6 times, and they've given up just 1 goal. Halfway through the Seattle power play. 2 minutes left in the first period. Kennedy can't control it. Niedermayer's clearing pass, stopped by Dick. Down to Knox. Back up for Dick. He'll send a knuckleball in that's deflected. Blazers clear it. They are good in their own end. Boyer up for Niedermayer. Shoot, score! Short-handed. Scott Niedermayer. Kamloops on top 1-0.
Great pass by Zach Boyer to set up Niedermayer, cutting through the middle. That's another shorthanded goal against the Thunderbirds, and that's 2 now they've given up. Their last 2 goals, as a matter of fact.
Niedermayer from Boyer. Niedermayer had to hesitate right at the blue line because he was almost offsides. In fact, in looking at that replay, he's very close to being offsides.
The key to that play was Troy Hyatt. It looked like he stopped skating. He just coasted and tried to hook Niedermayer. Niedermayer just shook him off and was able to make a good move on Chris Osgood.
Zach Boyer the assist, Niedermayer the shorthander. 25 seconds left in the Seattle power play. 2 of the last 3 Seattle power plays have resulted in shorthanded goals. Witt with a shot. Hirsch makes the stop. Back out to Witt. Rolls it down in the corner for Chapman. 10 seconds left in the Seattle power play, which is going nowhere in a hurry. As the Blazers, Lance Johnson clears the puck. Osgood will stop and drop for Witt, and both teams are at full strength. Up ahead for Bouchard. Witt will carry it up the right wing. Gets a screen from Zajankala. Into the corner, bumped by Patterson. Down to the final minute of the first period. Giveaway. There's a shot by Witt. And Hirsch made the stop. Thunderbirds haven't had too many chances like that here in this period. Blazers looking for a break. Patterson was out in front of the plate. Dick breaks it up, gives it up right side. Here's Stevenson shooting and saving is Hirsch. He'll hold on. Now he'll flip it up to the boards. Knox bumping with Dooling, and it's out to center. Blazers with a 2-on-2. In comes Johnson along with Patterson. Leaves for Patterson. Deflected. Down the slot comes Dooling, and he's hit hard by Wells. 23 seconds left in the period. It's back down into the Kamloops end. A shorthanded goal for the Blazers, the only score of this first period. Back come the Blazers. Jarrett Dooling. Just 10 seconds left. Delay penalty coming up. Touched by the Thunderbirds. And with a little bit left on the clock, less than 6 seconds left, the Blazers are going to go on the power play. Seattle will be shorthanded again. This Saturday, the Gonzaga Bulldogs and the Oregon State Beavers match up down in Corvallis. The best in college baseball. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. right here on Prime Sports Northwest. Turner Stevenson is back in the box. Got his elbow up.
That's a second minor already for Turner. He's laying the body on, but as he didn't do last night, he has gotten the elbows and the sticks up, and now he's got a second minor.
It probably won't have an effect on this period, but coaches just love to start periods, as the Blazers will in the second, on the power play.
Well, it gives them a chance to regroup in between periods and set up an organized play on the chalkboard.
Out to Sador. His wrist shot. Stopped in the slot by Hyatt, and that'll do it for the first period. Well, this first period begins as the final period ended for Seattle last night. A short-handed goal, and Kamloops leads. Stick around. We've got a lot planned in this first intermission.
Nowhere else will you find such a treasure of pleasure. A lavish spectacular of exciting, inviting, cool and creamy smooth treats. So fun-loving and delicious, the only word for it is wonderful. Frozen yogurt or soft serve, plain or fancy, day or night, bite after bite. We treat you right. Dairy Queen.
Smoking Bird Cooper shocked millions when he nearly beat Holyfield for the undisputed championship. Now Cooper's got another title shot against the WBO's #1 ranked knockout artist Michael Moorer. Budweiser presents the TVKO Fight of the Month from A. Moorer versus Cooper for the WBO Heavyweight Championship of the World. Friday, May 15th, 9 p.m. Eastern, live on pay-per-view cable TV.
Only Dodge has Cummins diesel power, and it not only outpulls Chevy and Ford, but it beats them in fuel economy too. I have a large selection of standard cabs, club cabs, and cabin chassis to choose from. The Dodge Cummins diesel also carries a 7-year, 100,000-mile engine warranty. If it's pulling power and hard work you want, you can't beat a Dodge Cummins diesel. Stop in today and test drive one. You won't believe the power at Dwayne Lane's Downtown Dodge and 2902 Wrecker in downtown Everett.
Northwest exclusive presentation.
After one in the Coliseum, a shorthanded goal by Scott Niedermeyer is the difference. The Blazers lead the Thunderbirds. Hi again, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Danny Lorenz. Welcome back to the Coliseum. Some things don't change. We thought maybe the Thunderbirds could make a few adjustments on their power play. They gave up the shorthander for a winner last night as the Greyhounds beat them. And tonight the Blazers get on the board. Kamloops shorthanded goal, Scott Niedermeyer.
Well, of course, as everyone knows, special teams are so vital. You know, it's bad enough when you don't score on your power play, and then when you get shorthanded goals scored against you, it really kills you.
Coming into this hockey game, we knew one thing. Kamloops was very, very solid defensively. 2 first-round picks. Scott Niedermeyer of the New Jersey Devils, Daryl Sador of the LA Kings. And that really showed up, I think, especially in the first period, because Seattle spent very little time in the Kamloops end.
I really think so. Niedermeyer, Sador, they handle the puck with such grace and patience. It's really nice to see, especially on their power play. They do such a wonderful job of just controlling the puck.
And that's got to be such a big boost for a goaltender. Corey Hirsch is very, very good, don't get me wrong. But when you've got a couple first-round picks on the blue line, that has to ease your mind a bit.
Well, it doesn't hurt, let me tell you. And the thing about it is that they instill confidence in Corey Hirsch because they clear the rebounds, clear the men in front, and they work so well together.
So the Kamloops Blazers, the Western Hockey League champions, have a 1-0 lead after 1. The Thunderbirds trying to bounce back from last night's disappointing loss to the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. We'll see if they do it. We've got some more surprises in store for you during this first intermission, so don't go anywhere.
The biggest news in recent history to hit the auto industry is happening right here in Seattle. Totem Hill Pontiac GMC trucks eliminated their sales staff. Now there are no salesmen, no pressure, no negotiating, just big price tags on every vehicle. This one-price selling concept was reported in USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Fortune, even on 60 Minutes. See what the press is talking about. Shop where commissions are history. Totem Hill Pontiac GMC truck, Kirkland, where car and truck buying is fun again.
Thomas and Toyota of Kirkland has a simple philosophy. The more cars we sell, the less we can sell them for. We call it volume pricing. And here's an example. Right now we have 10 1992 Toyota Tercels with 1.5-liter 12-valve engines, power brakes, and more for $65.88. If you're looking for a truck, we have 10 1992 Deluxe Toyota 4x4s for just $10,688. That's only at Thomas and Toyota of Kirkland. But if you don't come see me today, I can't save you any money.
Next year, there will be 2 new teams in the NHL. One of them will be the Ottawa Senators. Their director of player personnel has been at the Memorial Cup. John Ferguson joins us right now. Have you seen anything you like here at the Cup?
Oh, yes, I definitely like a couple of young players. Sault Ste. Marie's got Mark Mathieu, definitely going to be a player, and young Drew Bannister. So there's a couple, and there's a couple of aged 72s that we like a lot. Kowalski with Sault Ste. Marie also, and you know, there's some real good drafts that have already been picked that are playing tonight. Sider, of course, and Niedermeyer. They're pretty good hockey players, but it's been a pretty good search. We don't have any players yet, and you know, we got to go through 3 drafts. Before the 20th of June, we go through the June the 18th is the expansion draft to the National Hockey League players, and then the 19th is supplemental draft of Division I U.S. college seniors, and of course the following day is the amateur draft where we've been covering a lot of junior hockey players.
You look at the San Jose Sharks and how they built their team. They have a combination of some veteran players and some youngsters like Pat Falloon. Now, when you build the Ottawa Senators, you're going to have to go after some youngsters and some veterans. Which needs do you address first? Defense, offense, goaltending?
Well, we want to get strong right through the middle. We're talking about goal, defenseman, centerman first, and then maybe go after some good wingers. We've been in Norway with the European Junior Championships with the 4 nations. We just come back from Prague, Czechoslovakia with the World Championships, so we're looking at free agents. We're looking at some free agent goaltenders. We've been looking at some free agent defensemen. So there's no question there's a great talent pool now because of hockey so international. So it's a good development league, the Canadian Major Junior, and certainly in this area, which has really turned into a hotbed for hockey players. So what we really go after is a strength down the middle, and that's where we start to build a hockey club from. You
can tell this guy's a hockey guy. I mean, just look at his tie. He's got an outstanding choice in hockey netwear. How have you enjoyed your stay in Seattle?
Well, I enjoyed it extremely well, and I grew up in Vancouver, so I used to spend a lot of time in Seattle, Washington as a youngster.
And John Ferguson, the Director of Player Development for the Ottawa Senators. You haven't seen him skate yet, but just stick around. 1992-1993, the initial season for the Senators. We'll return to Seattle after this.
Every assist, every shot, every save, every slight disagreement. The Stanley Cup playoffs on Prime Sports Northwest. The NHL on Prime Sports Northwest is brought to you by new Rainier Ice Lager Draft and Rainier Ice Lager Draft Light.
When you start to tell the tale of the first period as the Blazers lead the Thunderbirds 1-0, you start on the power play, and that's how the Kamloops Blazers spent much of the first period. Here was maybe the save of the period as the Blazers really buzzed in on Chris Osgood.
A couple of combination saves there. The first one off Niedermeyer and then the rebound off of Lyons.
Seattle had a power play late, and this is what happened.
Just a great feed over Boyer. He feathered the pass over to Niedermeyer, who made no mistake.
Boyer brought it over. Niedermeyer coming in onside.
Initially, it did look like it might have been offside, but the linesman was in good position.
And Scott Niedermeyer getting his first goal of the Memorial Cup, a shorthanded goal. Zach Boyer had the only assist. That coming with 2 minutes left in the first period, and very similar to last night. 2 minutes left in the third when Sault Ste. Marie got a shorthander to beat the Thunderbirds 4-3. We'll have the start of the second period, the Blazers and the Thunderbirds, after this timeout.
Northwest College Baseball is swinging on Prime Sports Northwest. Northwest College Baseball on Prime Sports Northwest. It's a hit. Saturday, May 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific, the Bulldogs and the Beavers launch a PSN doubleheader.
Ready for the second period. Kamloops, a shorthanded goal, the only goal of the hockey game. Rich Waltz along with Danny Lorenz at the Seattle Center Coliseum. And as you can see, Danny Lorenz has a lot of friends here in Seattle, but this one has a little trouble with his spelling. This guy, now look, see the number 1? You can see the autograph. This guy brought the sweater up yesterday and asked you to autograph it. I want to know, how did you spell your name when you autographed it?
Well, it looks like he's got the French version spelled across his back. But I signed it. He wanted me to sign it the proper way, so I gave him the courtesy to sign it the right way.
Where do you go to buy a jersey with a misspelling like that? Is that a game jersey? Did you wear that in the NHL?
I don't believe so. I don't know. You must have paid someone off if you did, but or it wouldn't be very hard to get.
Yeah. Now, as far as this hockey game goes, we turn to more serious matters. Peter Anholt and his Thunderbirds have a big chore. They've got 1 minute and 54 seconds left on a Kamloops power play to start the period. We talked about coaches and what they do during intermissions when they get a power play. I guess it's the same for a guy like Anholt, whose team is going to come shorthanded. You've got 20 minutes of intermission to diagram exactly what you want.
And I think the Seattle penalty killing has been very stingy. You know, they killed a 2-minute two-man disadvantage earlier in the game. So, you know, that part of their game has been very strong for them.
That's Tom Rennie, the coach of the Kamloops Blazers. You saw those shots on goal. I would suspect that of the 8 shots Seattle had, maybe 1 or 2 were really quality chances. Blazers on the power play as we start this second period. Kamloops tonight 0 for 2. This their third. Sebastian sends it back in. Osgood will stop. Looks for a lane. Can't get it past Niedermeyer, who's bumped by Chapman, and out it goes to neutralize. Very good power play in the regular season. Kamloops at 28%. But as you saw, they struggled a bit. In the Memorial Cup. Mike Mathers with the puck. Rolls it behind for Zach Boyer. He assisted on the only goal of the game, setting up Niedermeyer. Now he sends it out to Sador. Darrell along the blue line. LA Kings first-round pick. Boyer with a shot, saved by Osgood. A rebound is cleared away. Knox couldn't get it across the line, though. Over to a right side. Sador at the blue line. Finds Boyer, who sends it right through the slot, and it ends up in the corner. Back behind for Mathers. Osgood himself will play it. Can't get it out of that corner. 30 seconds left in the power play. There's Niedermeyer shooting, and Osgood makes the save. Niedermeyer gets it back. Sends it behind for Green. Out top Sador. His shot saved by Osgood. It was right on. Knox can't clear it, though. Sador down low. Boyer shoots. Osgood makes the save as he puts the pads down and holds on. And pushing and shoving erupts in the slot. Osgood beating Boyer to the near post, and he stacked the pads and made a tremendous save.
Come across really well there. Took away the low ice from Boyer. He had to get it upstairs, but he was in too tight to Osgood, and that was a great play.
Here's a look at it. Tic-tac-toe, the Blazers moving the puck on the power play and moving it with precision.
Well, Knox had a couple opportunities to clear the zone. Both times, Sador knocked the puck down at the blue line, then kept the pressure on in the Seattle end.
Here's a good look at Osgood in the crease.
See, he kind of knew that the pass was going across. He anticipated the play. He was able to throw his legs out and made a very big save at this point in the game.
The man they call Ozzy, 10-6 in the playoffs. In the regular season, he had a tremendous 91.1 save percentage. 7 seconds is left in the Turner-Stevenson elbowing call. And so the Thunderbirds will be a man short for just a few more ticks. Imperative to win the draw, and they do. Kennedy wins it. Thunderbirds clear it. Stevenson will escape the box. 2 minutes in. We're in the second. 1-0. Kamloops on top. Mathers and Knox went into the box 2 minutes for roughing. Neither team shorthanded because of it. But the Blazers keep the pressure on. Osgood sends it into the corner. Kennedy wheels it up the boards. 5th-round pick of the Minnesota North Stars. Up from McCausland. And that Kamloops defense goes to work right at center ice. They don't wait till they're back to the blue line.
No, they don't back into their own end and give the Seattle forwards opportunities to walk in and get a good shot.
Kennedy for Stevenson. Throws it out front. McCausland couldn't follow. Stevenson got it back. He'll shoot. Score! Turner-Stevenson ties the game.
Great patience by Turner-Stevenson. He hung on to the puck, hung on to it, spotted a location on the net where he could beat Corey Hirsch, put it there. Low on the glove side. Great shot by Turner.
In big games, big players step up. A first-round draft pick of the Montreal Canadiens, Turner-Stevenson, has tied the game.
Well, Turner's been doing it with his physical play, and now he gets an opportunity to score, and he makes no mistake there.
First goal of the Memorial Cup. It comes at the 2:37 mark here in the second.
It was good work down low of the line of Darren McCausland, working it free to give Turner the opportunity to cut across.
Unassisted.
Not much of a chance there for Corey Hirsch. He was well out of his goal, trying to cut off the angle. Just a nice shot by Turner.
Penalty coming up right now on the Seattle Thunderbirds. Eric Bouchard got tied up with a Blazer along the boards, and I believe Bouchard will get tagged. Stevenson, first goal of the Cup, but the Thunderbirds are going to go down a man again.
It's almost the same situation as last night. The Thunderbirds kept giving the Sioux opportunities on the power play. And when you have face such fine power plays like you do in the Memorial Cup, sooner or later, you think that the Blazers will cash in on one. Osgood, though, has stood tall in the Seattle nets to enable the Thunderbirds to come back.
Bouchard, interference. And Kamloops is on the power play again, 3 minutes into the second period. Sador will bring it ahead, up to Niedermeyer. Touches it ahead to Zach Boyer, who shoots it in. Osgood saw 9 shots in the first period. He's already seen a handful here in the second. Now to a point, Sador will keep it in. Down to Shane Green. Poked by Chapman. Green dumps it around behind. Waiting there is Craig Lyons. He's tied up by McCausland. Now Hyatt and Green go after it. Green, property of the North Stars also. Daryl Sador back across, and Boyer couldn't hold the pass. Chapman has got it, and he'll clear it.
Blazers have great control on the Thunderbirds' end. It seems like maybe they're making one pass too many, looking for the very pretty play instead of just throwing it on the net.
Good hit by Stevenson. Boyer has the loose puck. Whistles it in. Osgood got a piece of it. Niedermeyer and Witt behind the net. Off for Zach Boyer. This is Shane Green. Over to Boyer with a shot. Score! Zach Boyer beats Chris Osgood, who ends up under a pile of humanity out in front of the crease. The Thunderbirds trying to get their goaltender out from under a Blazer. But Zach Boyer with a power play goal has put Kamloops on top 2-1.
Well, in this shot here, Zach Boyer decided to take matters in his own hand. Usually Zach Boyer has been trying to feed the back door to a cutting defenseman, but here he decides just to take the shot and a squeeze through Osgood's pads.
A power play goal. The Blazers finally click on their 4th power play of the night, and he just squeezed it through.
Yeah, there wasn't much room there. Osgood did what he could do. Of course, there's Niedermeyer creating havoc in front.
Let's see what happens after the goal. Well, the Blazer was pushed onto Osgood.
That's one thing I never really did understand, you know, being a goalie, your own player pushing the other team onto you. But that happens.
Scott Niedermeyer and Shane Green get the assists. Power play goal. It's 2-1 Kamloops. Back into the Seattle zone. Ryan Brown up ahead for Wells. He'll send it down the ice. Icing if the Blazers can get there. Sador's got a lot of speed. He'll touch. And we will leave you. But just briefly, as the Blazers on a power play goal lead the Thunderbirds. Stick around.
Stay ahead of the pack. This Week in NASCAR gives you the chance to talk with your favorite racers, from Darrell Waltrip to Dale Earnhardt, Ricky Rudd to Ken Schrader. NASCAR's top drivers and crew chiefs will answer your questions and share their expertise from every stop on the NASCAR circuit, live. This Week in NASCAR.
This Week in NASCAR, brought to you on Prime Sports Northwest by Evergreen Speedway.
Well, the stars of the NHL, a lot of them have played at the Memorial Cup. The Spokane Chiefs had a couple. Pat Falloon, a guy that'll be there in a little while. Ray Whitney, the Oshawa Generals. How about Eric Lindros? Swift Current Broncos. Oh, maybe Joe Sakic. The Medicine Hat Tigers. Try Trevor Linden on. We're back in Seattle. 2-1 Kamloops on top. Almost 5 minutes into this second period. Wilkie wide of Osgood. Niedermeyer will keep it in. Kurt Serrell on the boards. Niedermeyer took a hit from Wells. Knox battling with Shane Green. Blake Knox comes away with it. Thunderbirds have had very few of these. Stevenson. Turner a load when he goes to the net. Doesn't get there. He's spun around by Niedermeyer. Hyatt keeps it in. Back behind. Hirsch knocks it away from Stevenson. Sebastian keeps it, but sends it wide. Shane Green out to neutral ice. Stevenson picks his pocket. Tries to get it from McCausland. Taken right back by Wilkie. Up Spice McCausland, 2-on-1 with Kennedy. McCausland winding, shooting, deflected, and the Thunderbirds couldn't follow the shot. Kennedy behind, battling Niedermeyer. Penalty coming up. Niedermeyer, I think, got the stick up. He did. Referee Brad Watson calls it, and now Seattle will be on the power play.
That was perhaps Corey Hirsch's finest save of the night. Darren McCausland can shoot the puck, and he took the opportunity there. It was a 2-on situation, but Hirsch kicked out the right pad, was able to poke the deflection or the original shot into the corner.
There's the slash right there. Niedermeyer maybe retaliating a little bit because Kennedy was in the crease and bumped Hirsch. Niedermeyer for slashing.
Well, let's see now if the Thunderbirds can answer the Blazers' power play, as we haven't seen a Thunderbird power play in a while.
Seattle is 0 for 2 tonight. This is their first of the second period. And remember, of their last 3 power plays, they've given up 2 shorthanded goals. The winner last night to Sault Ste. Marie, and the first for the Blazers tonight. There's a shot that Hirsch got a piece of. Out to a point, Dick can't keep it in. Over to Kurt Sayre. Up ahead for Kennedy. Blazers so solid defensively, and their penalty killing unit really shows it. In comes the Jankala. Sador and McCausland collide. Kennedy forechecks it loose. Zajankala leaves it behind, but Ewell will wind it around the boards, and Lance Johnson pokes it out to center ice.
The Blazers just are so composed that it looks like they've been...
Here's Joel Dick shooting, saved by Hirsch. Sador can't clear it. McCausland keeps it in, but here comes Kamloops. Daryl Sador up ahead for Zach Boyer. He'll run some clock. And this power play almost a halfway point. Sayre will set up behind Osgood. Up ahead to Dick. Thunderbird defenseman carries it in. Down for Zajankala, was behind him. George for Knox, back to Kennedy. Mike Kennedy bumped, never got a shot off.
Kennedy waited too long there in the corner. He could have walked behind the net and maybe set up a better play.
Half a minute left. Seattle power play. 2-1 Kamloops. 7 minutes into the second period. Birds come in offside because Blake Knox got a little help from Daryl Sador. What do the Thunderbirds have to do to get this power play clicking?
Well, I think the key to any power play when you start in your own end is the first pass. Many times when you make the original pass off, it's a bad pass, and then Kamloops has an easy opportunity to just dump it back down.
That man right there, Jeff Sebastian, a guy that usually makes that first pass as one of the defensemen. Sebastian is out with Hyatt, Chapman, Bouchard, and Nichols up front.
Sebastian was a real force last night, really inspired the Thunderbirds on their first goal last night.
The Winnipeg Jets have to be happy with the tournament that he's having. 8th round pick. Sebastian comes in against Sador. Out to Hyatt. Down low for Bouchard. Chapman has the puck. Thunderbird captain reverses, sends it out front. Hyatt shoots, deflected wide. Boy, Bouchard really was hammered in the slot, and he's just getting back up to his skates. Somebody really cleaned him out in front of the Kamloops net. Osgood up ahead for Nichols.
Of course, that's what the Kamloops Blazers defense have to do, is knock those people in front, and they did a great job doing that.
Nichols does not have the speed to break out. However, he brings it in for Maruschuk. Nichols gets it back. Down low for Chapman. Hirsch up the boards. Blazers try to clear. Witt will keep it in. Blazers take it right back. David Wilkie bumped by Wells. Up ahead. Here comes a shot. Save. Jarrett Dooling turned away by Osgood. And Dooling hit by Dick along the boards. Maruschuk. Good hit there by Dooling. A little retribution. Wells clobbers Wilkie, and I think he's going to get called for it. We'll take a timeout. Who will be penalized? We'll see when we're back.
After dating the guy forever, you think I could tell him anything.
There may be nothing left to say.
Kevin, I'm gonna drive.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Jared Dooling will be gone 2 minutes charging, and now the Thunderbirds will get their 4th power play, and here's what happened.
There's Dooling come flying in. They called him on the charge because he left his feet and jumped up at Maruchuk.
Yeah, he didn't help himself by getting that elbow up around Maruchuk's head, did he?
No, he didn't. I think he saw him in sight from across the ice and went after him. Well, the Thunderbirds do have a positive working for them. They didn't get scored on their last power play.
That's a start.
Let's see if they can get more shots on the Blazers' net.
McCausland will start the rush up. Darren, a good two-way player. He can play up front and on the blue line. Carries it in, drops for Knox, who shoots. Hirsch makes the save. The Thunderbirds have been unable to follow their shots tonight. And that's a credit to both Corey Hirsch and the Kamloops blue line. McCausland gunning it wide. Sebastian keeps the rebound in. He'll send it in. Deflected. Back over to Knox in a right wing. Dumps it in for Maruschuk. Twain trying to center. Sebastian will load it up again, and Hirsch makes the glove save and holds on.
Sebastian, a good shot from the point. Turner doing his job in front. Hirsch had a look around the screen of Turner, and he was able to pick that one off.
Seattle, Washington, home of the Memorial Cup. The only other American city to host the Memorial Cup, Portland.
Yes, and they come out with the championship.
In fact, Portland is the only host team to win the Memorial Cup.
Yes, and that was the last time it was held in the States, I believe.
Yep. 2 American teams have won the Memorial Cup, Portland, and last year, the Spokane Chiefs. The Chiefs, incidentally, owned by the Brett brothers, the baseball Bretts, George and Ken and Bobby. Here's Dick with his shot. Hirsch making the stop. Dick will get another look at it. This one's deflected. Hirsch makes another save, and it's cleared quickly. A minute left in the Seattle power play. 2-1, Kamloops on top. Kurt Sayre looking ahead for Chapman, deflected, and Daryl Sador has it. Into the corner goes Joel Dick and Lance Johnson. Dick can't clear it. Johnson will run clock out to Sador, and it's a game of keep away as Kamloops tries to kill this penalty.
This has been one of the more productive style power plays of recent times. They have had sustained pressure in the Blazers' end.
Here's Joel Dick. 15 seconds left in it. Getting by Sador. Dick goes down and crashes into the boards. Away with the puck is Niedermeyer. Taken back by Chapman. Feeds the Jankel, and he couldn't shoot it. A whistle stops play. Joel Dick, high stick. Niedermeyer is down in a heap, and the Thunderbird power play is over.
I think it was another unintentional stick that caught Niedermeyer. Let's see what the referee calls. That would make it two calls we've had tonight with just unintentional high stick infraction.
Here's a look at it. Chapman.
Well, that was a little more blatant.
Yeah, it was. Chapman was trying to get it to Zajankala. There's when Dick went down, and that might have been the reason, because there you see Niedermeyer and Sador sent Joel into the boards.
Sador hauled him down, and he was trying to draw the penalty, Joel Dick was. Maybe a little frustration, but you have to keep your emotions in check in championship games.
9 minutes and 41 seconds left. The Blazers power play, 1 of 4. Uncharacteristically, just 1 for 15, or 2 for 15 rather, in the tournament. 2 minutes for high sticking to Joel Dick. Hirsch will drop it off. And here comes the very talented Scott Niedermeyer. Has a shorthanded goal tonight. He'll bring it all the way in. Drops for Dooling. Back to Niedermeyer. This is Dooling who shoots and hits the side of the net. Sebastian for Seattle. Knox pokes it loose. Dave Wilkie at the Kamloops line. Wilkie, big, talented. Misses wide. He's projected as a first-round pick in June. Dooling and Knox. Johnson trying to loosen it up. Johnson lost it. Niedermeyer keeps it in. His shot never got to Osgood. It was deflected by Sebastian. Here's McCausland. Two men to beat. Two very good men to beat. And so McCausland's no dummy. He's going to circle back and run some clock. Niedermeyer. Taken by Boyer. Boyer gets a lane. Boyer shooting, and instead of going short side, he looked for the far post that time.
Boyer gaining the blue line. He went around height there. Went for the top corner.
Here's a good look at him. He carried it from end to end, and coaches, when they watch this on film, really dislike this.
Well, the Thunderbirds were caught asleep a little bit there. They should have pressured him before he hit the blue line, and he actually got a pretty good chance there. Zach Boyer knows how to put the puck in the net. 40 goals this year, only second to Craig Lyons, who had 44.
Property of the Chicago Blackhawks. He was a 4th-round pick last year. I'm sure goaltenders dislike it when a guy goes from one end to the other also.
Well, a player gets to gather a lot of speed going from one end to the other. Of course, that makes his shot that much more difficult.
20 seconds left in the power play. Missing wide is Shane Green. Out to Wilkie. He'll keep it in. Fires it across. Knocks there for Seattle to clear the puck. But there's Sador to stop it. Boy, the Kamloops defensemen have played an outstanding game tonight. Wilkie behind. Green. Up top. Sador shot. Deflected out. Joel Dick is out of the box, and the Thunderbirds have successfully killed off Kamloops' 5th power play of the night. Green behind Osgood. We've got 7.5 minutes left in the second period. Kamloops 2, Seattle 1. Green out front. He fanned on it. A giveaway in the Seattle zone, but Green couldn't get enough on it to send it towards Osgood. Bouchard plays it in. Steve Ewell back into the Kamloops end. It's been a while since the puck's been down there. Ewell against Sebastian. Got around him. Centers. Osgood holds on. Ewell feeding Shane Green. It's been a busy night for the Seattle goaltender. 7 minutes left in the second.
Hush, little baby, don't say.
Last year, thousands of innocent children were caught in the crossfire of violent crime. And it's not just the children who suffer. How much longer will you let this go on? Call this number now. We'll send you information on how you can protect your children from crime and drugs in your neighborhood. Together, we will take a bite out of crime.
Well, this Saturday you can catch college baseball, the Portland Pilots and the Washington Huskies. The Huskies on the verge of an NCAA tournament bid. Saturday afternoon at 1, only on Prime Sports Northwest. We are in the Northwest tonight in the Seattle Center Coliseum. Here's a look at Steve Ewell.
Steve Ewell, usually more of a defensive defenseman. He went up on the rush, and Green went to the net. Osgood dragging the back leg, made a fine save once again.
7 minutes left in the second. Kamloops had a 1-0 lead after 1. Thunderbirds tied it 2.5 minutes in on Turner Stevenson's unassisted goal, but Zach Boyer on the power play has the Blazers on top 2-1. In comes Watchorn, rolls it to Osgood, plays it ahead. George Zajankala really has yet to get going in this one. Watchorn takes it away, and Witt has to retrieve it. Up to Kurt Sayre. We haven't heard much from him either. Rob Lawlisher. Boy, the Blazers break it out nicely. Mike Mather's in. Gets by Sebastian. Centers the puck, but there's Stevenson. Thunderbirds come back. 4-on-3. Stevenson in, trying to plow his way towards the net. It's held up in the corner. Craig Lyons sends it out. Sebastian rolls it in. Stevenson still in the zone, so it's offsides. Two first-round picks coming up here, Stevenson and Daryl Sador.
Of course, this is Turner's strength. He's using his brute strength, as you will, trying to out-muscle Sador, put it deep in the corner.
Sador, first-round pick of the LA Kings. Stevenson, first-round pick, Montreal Canadiens.
I'm sure they're going to have a lot of battles, just not here in the Memorial Cup, but maybe in the future in the NHL.
Blake Knox taking the drop against Zach Boyer. Knox controls it, up for Hyatt, and it's sent into the Kamloops zone. Blazers haven't spent much time in their own zone in this period. They've cleared the puck easily, as they do there. This is Sador, 7th player taken overall in the draft. Up for Lyons, hit by Dick. Joel finds the puck, lost it in the slot. Dangerous spot, Green couldn't shoot. Stevenson knows when to clear it. David Wilkie, he's from Everett, Washington. He's the only American playing tonight. Everett just north of Seattle, about half an hour. Last year he was a member of the Seattle Thunderbirds, but then went to Kamloops. Blake Knox, his pocket picked by Sador, and he clears the puck. Nicely done. Look at Sador. He is putting on a clinic tonight. Up to Lyons. Touches it in, and the Blazers make a change. I don't think you can play much better defensively than the Blazers have tonight.
No, they've been doing it all year, and this is a good example of it. The shots Hirsch has been facing have been from the perimeter.
Niedermeyer up to Patterson. Forechecked away by Kennedy. Mike Kennedy with the puck. Around behind. Kennedy can't center. And Kennedy dumped. No whistle. 2-on-2. Jarrett Dooling against Joel Dick. Drops it off. Patterson bumps. And a shot and a save. Osgood turning away Jarrett Dooling. Dick and Patterson in the corner. Good hit by big Brendan Witt. Ryan Huska can't center the puck. Out comes Kennedy. He's at the end of his shift, so he's going to send it in. Taken away by Wilkie. Back into the Seattle zone.
Fourth line for the Blazers doing a good job there of Huska, Dooling, and Patterson.
Kennedy still on. Centers. A shot by Duncan, saved by Hirsch. Back comes Niedermeyer, 2-on-2 with Laux. Niedermeyer backhand wide. Can't follow it. Crashes into the boards. Shot and a score. Out front. Lance Johnson makes it 3-1.
As it so often happens, a goalie makes a good save at one end, and the team comes back to the other end and puts one away. And this is a fine example of it. Hirsch makes a great save off of Duncan. They come back down, and they slide one in.
Lance Johnson gets his first Memorial Cup goal.
Good rush here by Niedermeyer, getting the puck in the zone. Kept working, falls down. Just kicked out in front, and Lance Johnson just has the presence of mind of seeing the puck, and he just slides it along the ice.
Johnson at the 16:22 mark makes it 3-1.
Real smart play there by Scott Laux, who kicked the puck up to Johnson. Heads up play.
Laux and Niedermeyer get the assist. Niedermeyer is having a 3-point night. He has a goal, and he's assisted on the other two scores. Sebastian comes in. Out to Sayre. His shot wide of Hirsch. Sebastian behind for Chapman. Blazers clear it. Lyons up for Stevens. Chapman is hit. Penalty coming up. Osgood doesn't see it. Now he finally comes out, and it's touched by Kamloops. The drop, the Thunderbirds will get a power play out of this. Osgood never saw the hand of referee Brad Watson up.
No, and he was stuck back in his crease. But here you see Chapman coming across, and an elbow thrown there by Watchorn. Here's the save by Corey Hirsch as he come across well out of his net to take away any angle that Duncan might have had.
Yeah, he stopped Brett Duncan, and then down the other end, Johnson connected. Watchorn, as you saw, had the elbow up.
That's got a smart Chapman coming across and receiving an elbow right in the chops. Well, the Thunderbirds have had numerous power plays here of late in the second period, and they have to capitalize here.
This is their 5th. Down by 2 now. Niedermeyer trying to clear. Joel Dick will pinch in and keep it in the zone. Stevenson dishes it out, but the slot is filled with Blazers. Send it out ahead to Boyer. Boyer's got a break. He'll shoot. Saved by Osgood. Short-handed nightmares for the Thunderbirds these last 2 nights. They gave up the game winner short-handed last night. Kamloops first was short-handed tonight, and that almost made it 4-1. Knox in the corner for McCausland. Stevenson down the slot. Niedermeyer there to pick it up. He'll shoot it ahead. He tried to get it to Mathers. Offsides. The puck will come back out. Two minutes and 9 seconds left. The Thunderbirds, man, it's one thing not to get any quality shots. How do you break down and give up shorthanded goals?
Well, the thing is, the defensemen for the Thunderbirds aren't making the smart play. They're trying to overhandle the puck up deep. They're not making the smart passes down low. They're trying to shoot the puck through traffic for the Blazers, who are coming out to the deployment, and they're hitting the shin pads, and they have uncontested breakaways.
Sebastian back to collect it halfway through the Seattle power play. 2 minutes left in the second period. 3-1 Kamloops. Again, the Thunderbird power play stopped before they even get to the Kamloops line. Chris Wells at 6'7". Wells into the corner. Blazers will foul on it and hold on to it. 35 seconds left in the Seattle power play. The United States has won 2 Memorial Cups, Spokane of last year, and in the mid-'80s, the Portland Winterhawks. But you can tell Ontario is off to a commanding lead.
I believe so, and it'll take quite a few years for any of the following provinces to catch up.
Although the Memorial Cup has belonged to the Western Hockey League for the last 5 years.
The 2 BC winners were, of course, one in succession from the New Westminster Bruins, who, of course, have moved on to the Tri-City Americans.
Ernie Punch McLean, their head coach. Joel Dick out to Chapman. He tries to center. This is Bouchard. Rolls behind for Zajankala. Poked away by Sador. He's in traffic and lost it. Chapman out to a point. Witt winding, shooting. It's deflected wide. Boyer pokes it out. 8 seconds left in the power play. Good hit at center ice. Boyer went down in a heap. Zajankala plays it in. Sador bounces it off the boards. It'll be icing if it gets down across the line and is touched. It will be. So the faceoff comes back into the Kamloops end with 48 seconds left in the second period. Brendan Witt is not eligible for the draft in June, but you better believe in June of '93, this guy who just entered your picture will be snapped up by an NHL team.
Of course, he was a member of Team Pacific in '91. Good young prospect. There you see his numbers for the year.
It's amazing to watch these players, and you have to all of a sudden pinch yourself and remind yourself some of these guys, like Witt, are just 17 years of age.
Native of Humboldt, Saskatchewan.
And that's scary. Guy is 6'4", 220, and he's 17, and he can skate. Both teams 5 aside. Wilkie winds it around. Hyatt will keep it in. Not for long. In full flight, Niedermeyer, 3-on-2. Niedermeyer shooting, and he lifted it high. Kennedy can't clear. Bumped along the boards by Craig Lyons. Kennedy looking for an opening, lost the puck and upended his own defenseman. Final moments, second period. Thunderbirds have the numbers now, 3-on-2. Kennedy in, taken away. Jeff Watchorn. Play it up ahead to Lyons. Got a man trailing. Sends it into the slot, taken away by Sebastian. Wilkie, as the period comes to a close. And the Kamloops Blazers, who had a 1-0 lead after one, lead it 3-1 after two. We'll return to Seattle. Stay with us.
Northwest College baseball is swinging on Prime Sports Northwest. Northwest College baseball on Prime Sports Northwest. It's a hit. Saturday, May 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific, the Bulldogs and the Beavers launch a PSN doubleheader. The sparks will fly when the Memorial Cup's on the line. And this year, the championship action's in Seattle and on Prime Sports Northwest.
Hi, I'm Johnny Bench. For 16 years with the Cincinnati Reds, I got my inside information in the clubhouse and around the batting cage. Now I get the most complete baseball news and information all in one source. I read Baseball Weekly from the editors of USA Today. In every issue, you'll find team-by-team reports, expanded box scores, complete evaluations of major, minor, and college league players, plus TV and radio schedules for every game. There's vital stats for fantasy leaguers, baseball collectibles, and my personal favorite, a nostalgia section. Now, for a limited time, you can call this number to get 1 full year of Baseball Weekly. That's 44 issues for just $35. You'll also receive a free copy of the Baseball Weekly 1992 Almanac, a $12.95 value. It's the all-in-one resource for baseball fans everywhere. So call this number now to start your 1-year subscription to Baseball Weekly for just $35 and get the 1992 Almanac free with your paid order.
You're watching a Prime Sports Northwest exclusive presentation.
Back in the Coliseum, the Kamloops Blazers on top 3-1 after two. Rich Waltz along with the New York Islanders' Danny Lorenz. Welcome back to the Coliseum. Can you play defense any better than the Kamloops Blazers have tonight?
They are putting on a clinic. Of course, we all know who they have back there for them, and the Thunderbirds are having problems just getting into the Blazers' end.
I thought with Turner Stevenson's goal that tied the game early in the second period, maybe that the Thunderbirds would have some momentum, but what momentum they built was quickly demolished, especially by that Kamloops power play.
Well, it's just a matter of time. The Blazers were struggling a little bit on their power play, and you know, with the talent that they can put on the ice, you know, it was just a matter of time.
How do you get a power play started? Because Seattle not only isn't scoring on their power play, but they've given up 2 shorthanded goals the last 2 nights.
Well, it all starts out with a breakup, but once you get into the Blazers' end, what they have to try and do is make smart choices up at the point. Right now, their point men just aren't making the necessary plays to get it to their goal scorers.
This is a game that won't determine anything really, except maybe some pride going into the semifinal game on Saturday. And I guess the third period, that's going to be at the top of Peter Anholt's chalkboard. Pride. Let's go out and play some hockey.
Definitely. There's 20 minutes. There's no use throwing in the towel. You know, they've had 3 weeks to prepare for the tournament, and I expect a hard effort here by the Thunderbirds.
Well, we've got 1 period to go tonight. The Seattle Thunderbirds and the Kamloops Blazers. They battled it out in the regular season in the Western Hockey League through the playoffs, and they're not done yet. We'll have that final third period in the Memorial Cup after this.
Join Prime Sports Northwest in celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Seattle Supersonics. Each week during the Sonic season, there'll be a chance to win one of 25 fantasy prizes in the Delta Airlines Silver Sonics Fantasy Sweepstakes. Listen to Sports Radio 950 KJR and answer a Sonics trivia question to win. Prizes include 12 Seattle Sonic road trips for 2 on Delta Airlines, honorary coach for a home game, and much more. So join Prime Sports Northwest, Sports Washington Magazine, and Sports Radio 950 KJR in celebrating 25 years of Seattle Supersonics action. Baseball is swinging on Prime Sports Northwest. Saturday, May 16th at 1 Pacific, the Pilots and the Huskies complete a PSN double play.
After 2, Kamloops on top 3-1. You know, in the world of the Canadian Hockey League, it's a real honor to host the Memorial Cup. That means the guy to my left is a very proud guy. Bill Ewell, the owner of the Seattle Thunderbirds. What does the Memorial Cup mean to your franchise?
Well, I think it helps us showcase our franchise in the Pacific Northwest, Rich, and that was the whole idea behind it. We wanted to bring the best hockey that we could to this area, and I think by bringing the winners of the Quebec League and the Ontario League and the Western Hockey League and bringing them together into a city like Seattle puts a nice spin on the whole program and hopefully showcase just the kind of hockey that we can play.
Hockey in Seattle has gone a long way in a very short time, hasn't it?
Well, you know, it's been around a long time. I was looking at some of the records the other day, and I think 1917, the Seattle Metropolitans won the Stanley Cup, and there's been hockey of almost every level here over the interim years. And when we came back, we moved into this building and again just was able to showcase the game a little better than we could in the old building. And so we've been delighted with the response that the fans have given us, and hopefully we can produce a winning product each year.
You led the Western Hockey League in attendance this year, and a lot of people in seeing that and in seeing that the NHL is expanding year by year pose the question, will there ever be NHL hockey in Seattle?
Well, that's hard to say. I guess you have to start with a facility, and there just isn't one right now, but that's not to say that couldn't change. But I think right now the fans are pretty happy with our ticket level prices and the product that we're providing for them, and it's pretty doggone entertaining. So it's hard to say what the future holds, but I think we've got a pretty solid lock on things right now.
Speaking of the future, and speaking of solid, you have some very good young players in your system. 1991-92 has been a great year. 92-93 maybe even better.
Well, we were hoping that, and of course at this level of hockey you have to get those bantam drafts, and you have to get those midget players that come along when you want them to come along. And so we've got a good scouting system. We look all over Western Canada and the Western United States for players, and if we can get a few of the kids that we've got our eye on in the draft this year, we're very, very happy with our product next year.
Well, it's been fun watching it this year. Bill, good luck in this third period. I know the Thunderbirds got to get it going, and on Saturday in the semifinals, I know a lot of fans in here in Seattle will be out at the Coliseum Saturday to see the Thunderbirds in the Memorial Cup semifinals.
Well, I think so, and we've got a pretty good club here. The rest hasn't helped us much. You know, we've been off quite a bit, but day by day they're sharpening up their skills, and this game here is good to give us another outing before Saturday. So we're really looking forward to Saturday's game, Rich.
Bill Ewell, the owner of the Seattle Thunderbirds, who trailed the Kamloops Blazers 3-1 after 2. We'll have that third after this.
Heat up the ice, Saturday, May 16th at 10:30 Pacific.
The city of Seattle, the host city for the 1992 Memorial Cup. Inside the Seattle Center Coliseum, the Kamloops Blazers have a 3-1 lead over the Seattle Thunderbirds. It was a 1-0 lead for the Blazers after 1, and it looked like the Thunderbirds' spiritual leader, their physical leader, Turner Stevenson, got him back.
Great play there by Turner. Dermot Cousland was able to get the puck to him there. And he hung on here, took a look, hung on, and slid it past Corey Hirsch.
One of the few quality chances that the Thunderbirds had in the second period. Blazers on the power play. Moved the puck so well, and here's the Blackhawks 4th-round pick, Zach Boyer, beating Chris Osgood.
Well, Zach Boyer scored all year with 40. Finally shot the puck. They've been trying to make the pretty play, but he shot the puck and put it through Osgood's pads.
The final Kamloops goal came on a great kick pass from Scott Laux. Watch Laux behind the net, kick the puck out.
Right there, and Johnson, jolly on the spot, was able to slide it by Osgood. Osgood, not much of a chance to get prepared for the shot.
Better look at it. There's the kick. Johnson finishes it off. And the Blazers, after 2, have a 3-1 lead. We're glad you're with us tonight from Seattle. The third period awaits. They'll drop the puck when we get back.
Thousands of innocent children were caught in the crossfire of violent crime. How much longer will you let this go on? Call this number now. We'll send you information on how you can protect your children from crime in your neighborhood. Together, we will take a bite out of crime.
Kamloops up by 2 as they get set to drop it for the third period. This program is authorized under television rights granted by the Canadian Hockey League. Any publication, reproduction, or rebroadcast, other use of these pictures, descriptions, and accounts of the game without the express written consent of Prime Sports Northwest is prohibited. All right, Danny Lorenz, I'm going to put you in the shoes of both Peter Anholt and Tom Rennie. First, for the Kamloops Blazers. They're up 3-1. Rennie, I'm sure, has to be very pleased with the way his team has played.
Well, Tom Rennie has every right to be pleased. Of course, the Blazers not unaccustomed to this position, being up going in the third. I'm sure they have defended many leads this year, and I think they'll go out and play the same style. Tough defense lead, not to give up too much, and still to have aggressive forechecking.
There's a good shot of Rennie. If you're Peter Anholt, how do you put pressure on Corey Hirsch?
Well, what they have to do is they have to dump it in, and they have to get the Turners in there banging, digging the puck loose to the Blake Knoxes, and hopefully they can find enough room to get some good quality chances on Hirsch. So far, there hasn't been many.
20 minutes left. Remember that these two teams will be playing Saturday here in the Coliseum, and we invite you, if you're in the area, to come down and see what will be an outstanding semifinal game. The Thunderbirds and the Blazers. The winner will meet the Greyhounds of Sault Ste. Marie in the championship game. That is Sunday. Both games Saturday and Sunday at 1 o'clock here in the Coliseum. Whistle off the drop, 8 seconds in. And they're going to bring this one back out to center. Blazers on top 3-1. Kamloops has a shorthanded and a power play goal. Scott Niedermeyer scored the shorthander, assisted on the power play, and he had an assist on that final goal by Lance Johnson.
Just another ho-hum night for Niedermeyer, 3 points.
Yep. Boy, the New Jersey Devils certainly, I'm sure, will put him to good use next year. George Zajankala wins the drop out to Witt, and he'll shoot it. Saved by Hirsch, and he kicks it right up the chute out to center ice. Joel Dick winds it around behind Hirsch. Thunderbirds forechecking aggressively. Chapman behind against the door, can't control it, and out comes Craig Lyons. Up ahead to Jeff Watchorn. With the first one back, hit by Rod Stevens. Watchorn trying to dig it off the boards. It's whistled dead inside the Seattle zone. Corey Hirsch didn't see too many shots in the first 2 periods. The Birds had just 15, but here's their 16th.
Seattle, one thing they are doing well is winning the draws. Here's a good point shot, top the circle. Of course, the key there, Hirsch was able to see it all the way in. There's Hurst playing well above his crease. Just stuck out his left pad. Kicked the rebound out far, so there was nothing lying in front of him. That's a good play. It's either to have it right in if you can't smother it, to kick it out far so no Thunderbird could reach it.
Seattle in their own end. Mike Kennedy around behind for Maruschuk. Hit by Jarrett Dooling. Away comes Johnson. Poked by Osgood and then followed up by Patterson, who lifted it high. Eddie Patterson along the boards with Kurt Sayre. Dooling with a shot up high, and Osgood was there to make a stop. The Blazers have been going for that top drawer early in the third. McCausland finds Kennedy. A man to beat. Mike Kennedy. Shot deflected. Still loose and cleared. Blazers don't miss a beat defensively. Nice move by Johnson. He'll shoot it wide. Osgood for Hyatt. Bounces it through. Hirsch will play. Off to Wilkie. Dave Wilkie, probable first-round pick in June. Lost it at center. Wells chips it over the boards.
I think now's an appropriate time to send best wishes to David Wilkie's father, who's in the Everett Hospital. Had an operation yesterday, and hopefully he's feeling better.
He, I'm sure, will feel a little bit better if the Blazers hold on to win this one. That's got to be quite an exciting time for David Wilkie to come back and play in the Memorial Cup 30 minutes from his hometown up in Everett. And I'm sure he has a lot of friends and family here. Wilkie with the puck. Deep in his own end. Across to Daryl Sador. They talk about Wilkie as a first-round pick. And I'm sure part of that being that he's had a chance to play with a couple of first-round draft picks in Sador and Niedermeyer, and that really has to help in a young player's development. There's a giveaway. Boyer to Johnson, and it's held by Osgood. Zach Boyer.
That was a fine save by Osgood, sliding across, anticipating the pass from Boyer.
And Osgood is slow to get up.
I think he had to really stretch out and lunge with it with his left hand. He might have pulled a groin.
Mike Mathers was stopped by Osgood. Sean Dietrich is the backup goaltender for the Thunderbirds.
You see, Osgood had to make a sudden lunge movement to his left. Had to make a split-like action.
Ouch.
And I think he did. Maybe pull a groin. Seems like he's going to stay in, though. Takes a little more than that to pull out a goalie in a big game like this. He's a competitor.
Thunderbirds clear it. There's Sador, though, to rifle it right back in. Osgood moving all right now. Bounces it off Witt. Lance Johnson in the corner. Sador in traffic. And it's chipped up over the ice. Whistle will stop play as in the slot Ryan Huska was hit by Joel Dick. Thunderbirds will be shorthanded when we get back.
Out of battle on Prime Sports Northwest, Sunday, May 17th at 10:30 Pacific.
They have hit the conference finals in the NHL playoffs, and right here on Saturday, live, you can see Game 1 of the Campbell Conference. The Oilers will be at Chicago Stadium to take on the Blackhawks. Right here, Saturday, May 16th on Prime Sports Northwest. They're getting a lot of use out of Chicago Stadium this time of the year. You've got the Bulls and the Blackhawks. Who do you like in that series, Danny?
Well, it's hard to go against Edmonton, but I think Chicago in 6 or 7.
Niedermeyer shooting. Osgood makes the stop. The Blazers are on the power play. Joel Dick for cross-checking. There's Chapman. Couldn't loosen it up, though. Sador, cross ice for Craig Lyons. Boyer, who is a Blackhawk pick, pinned along the boards. Sebastian sends it in. Hirsch, who is property of the Rangers, who were just eliminated by the Penguins. Giveaway. Lyons shoots and misses. Rebound. Oh! Green almost a power play goal. He had half a net to shoot for, and he missed it wide.
Oskar getting a little too aggressive with the stick there. Tried to clear the zone. Boyer was able to knock it down.
Sometimes a goaltender can do too much on his own, can't he?
Yep.
Out comes Sador, and he's offside. Do you ever get the urge just to take the puck yourself and just go right up the ice with the pads and the mask?
A lot of times in a play like that, you see the opening, but you know, with a goal stick, it's a little harder to shoot off the ice. And only a few have the ability, like the Hextalls, to fire it over someone's head.
Sador and Niedermeyer, both first-round picks, both have very solid futures in the NHL. That man has 3 points tonight, a goal and 2 assists. Kamloops has a 3-1 lead over Seattle. 51 seconds is left in this Kamloops power play. McCausland bounces it off of Niedermeyer. Almost always a clearing pass, never gets down to the other end. The Blazer D-men usually get a piece of it and stop it. And that really can help a power play out. Around behind Osgood, Witt bumped by Dooling. Bouchard can't sneak it by Wilkie. His shot. Osgood sticks it up over the glass.
Well, it's very important for the Thunderbirds to kill off this penalty, and they have 21 more seconds to go. They got to reestablish some offense if they do indeed kill this penalty off.
There's Mr. Wilkie. David out of Everett, Washington. And everyone seems to think, especially the Central Scouting Bureau, that he'll be a first-round pick. They project him mid-first round. And he's the only American playing in the Memorial Cup tournament.
Well, he has all the tools. He can stick handle. He can shoot the puck. He can also rush it with the best of them. Of course, he's got some good teachers, like you say, with Sador and Niedermeyer to help him along.
He's also got a good agent, doesn't he?
He does. He's represented by, I'm sure, as everyone knows here in Seattle, Carlos Sosa.
Who just happens to be your agent.
Which he does happen to be my agent. And now he has quite a few young guys.
I figured I'd get the plug in rather than you. 7 seconds left in this power play for the Blazers. Dooling and Patterson in the corner. You know, we haven't seen any real fights yet tonight.
Of course, we've had a few scrums, though, like this one. Of course, the later the stages go with a 2-goal deficit, the more we might see some more physical play, maybe to set something up for Saturday.
Especially with the fact that these two teams will play again in the semifinals on Saturday.
Sure, and they've played each other so many times already this year. You know, I'm sure they have some old grudges that might want to be settled and whatnot.
Well, where do NHL players come from? It's easy to say they come from the Canadian Hockey League. In fact, when you look at everybody in the NHL, 70% of the players in the NHL have spent time in the Canadian Hockey League. If you're the next Gretzky or Lemieux, you don't go to college to play hockey, do you?
Well, the Canadian Hockey League provides a lot of games for their players, where in college they emphasize more on practice. And you know, the scouts, they like to come out and see what a guy can do during games, because you know, you play an 80-game schedule in pro hockey, and Canadian Hockey League provides a lot of games, what you can do game in and game out.
Blazers will get another power play. It's their 7th of the night, as Blake Knox is in the box for roughing. It seems that Seattle has been killing penalties all night long.
Unfortunately, they've been doing a good job holding them off. Only the one goal by Boyer.
Zach Boyer. Rifles it in. Rebound. A shot wide by Mike Mathers. Boy, that puck caromed out of the corner. Kurt Sayre comes away. Seattle is shorthanded. We're 5 minutes into this third period. 3-1 Kamloops. Stevenson has the puck. Dumps it back, and Wilkie will set up the power play from behind the safety of his own net. Sador gives it back to Wilkie. Big man carries it in and shoots wide. McCausland battling along with Shane Green. Out to a point. Kicked out to center ice. Chapman crunched by Wilkie. Blazers tonight on the power play, 1 of 6, coming into their 7th. Zach Boyer back to Niedermeyer. Plays it ahead, taken away McCausland. Got 2 men to beat, though. His shot is deflected by Niedermeyer. Hit by Bouchard. Here come the Blazers. 3-on-2. In comes Dooley. Drops it for Johnson. Broken up nicely. Here comes Bouchard. Got Kennedy out front. He'll shoot it. Saved by Hirsch. And cleared quickly by Sador. 20 seconds left in the power play. Sebastian touches it into the Kamloops zone.
Thunderbirds giving back some of the Blazers' own medicine with a good scoring opportunity while the Blazers have the man advantage.
Final stages of this Kamloops power play. Kicked away. George Zajankala after it. Ewell gets there first. They collide. Kennedy trying to pick it off the boards. Finally gets a hold of it, and it's swooped up by Todd Johnson. Thunderbirds are at full strength. Here comes Dooley for Craig Lyons. Maruschuk has the loose puck. He'll bring it ahead. 3-on-3. Dwayne Maruschuk. Drop it, and a shot by Zajankala. Hirsch got a piece of it. Kennedy couldn't follow, and that's been a key tonight. The Birds have been unable to follow on the rebounds that Hirsch has provided. Maruschuk around behind, and Corey Hirsch will stop. Drop for Steve Ewell. Ewell playing it up ice. McCausland stops it. Knox gives it ahead. Stevenson going to the net. Strong backhand save. Rebound save. Stevenson can't stuff it in. Turner still with the puck, and he centers, but no one's in the slot. Turner Stevenson trying to do it all by himself, and he almost did it.
Strong rush. Turner going around the Blazers defenseman. Just ran out of room.
Stevenson upended. Lance Johnson has the puck. And the Blazers now up 3-1. Bring it in. Lance Johnson in the slot, and he's ridden off by Joel Dick. Bouchard gives off to Nichols. He can't clear it. Johnson with a shot, and it's kicked away by Osgood. Chapman out ahead for Nichols. 12 minutes left in this third period. 3-1 Kamloops on top. Wilkie around the net. Hit by Bouchard. Lost the puck. But the Blazers break it out, and here they come. Mike Mathers. Down the slot. Mathers on Osgood. He centers it right through the crease. No one there. And Bouchard sent it down the ice, and he probably shouldn't have done that, because it'll come back on the icing call. And the Thunderbirds had a possibility to break maybe a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2. How good are the Kamloops Blazers? Everyone seems to think they're the best in the Canadian Hockey League. Seattle did crack the top 20.
This is a familiar sight, seeing Kamloops ranked #1 at the end of the CHL rankings.
2 teams from the east of the Western League. Medicine Hat and Prince Albert also up there. Peter Anholt, who coached in Prince Albert before coming here to Seattle.
And Prince Albert lost to Saskatoon, somewhat of a surprise to most people, as Prince Albert had a very strong year, finished first in the Eastern Division.
Face off to the right of Osgood. Knox and Boyer. A weak shot stopped by Osgood. He'll let Sebastian control it. Thunderbirds have put a little more pressure here in the third than they did in the second. Sador, the little man Knox, takes him into the boards. Stevenson lays out a hit. Loose puck. But again, Shane Green takes care of business. Loose pucks don't stay loose long in the Kamloops zone, do they?
No, they don't. And another familiar sight is the Thunderbirds with only 1 goal as we saw the stat earlier given, the Thunderbirds in 4 of the 6 contests in the Western Final, they were only managing to score 1 goal.
Blake Knox is the only guy in this tournament to have a Memorial Cup ring. He won it in 1989 with Swift Current. For a little guy, he gets in a little bit of trouble, doesn't he?
He sure does. Blake Knox with 1 goal and 1 point in the Memorial Cup. He is from Thompson, Manitoba, and of course that's where Glenn Goodall was from.
Glenn Goodall, the second leading scorer in Western Hockey League history, and of course the only Seattle Thunderbird to have his number retired.
Well deserved, I think.
Here's Kennedy out to center ice. Mike Kennedy bumped along the boards by Ewell. Niedermeyer trying to clear. McCausland keeps it in. Wrist shot kicked by Maruschuk wide. Back out to center ice. Rolls in. Osgood stops it and clears it. Wilkie shoots it back in.
We are seeing a very good job of how to protect the lead. The Kamloops Blazers do nothing fancy, gaining the red line, and they dump it out.
And the Thunderbirds have been unable to answer back halfway through this third period. In a nutshell, Scott Niedermeyer's had a great night. Kamloops got a shorthander in the first period, a power play, and an even strength goal in the second. Seattle has struggled on specialty teams tonight, especially on their power play. Halfway through the third, Kamloops on top 3-1. Wells in the corner kicks it loose, but there's Sador. Duncan upends a Blazer. Wells pokes it loose. Sebastian will wait for his mates to come back on side, and then he sends it in. Queering after the puck. Sador in the corner. Over the boards and out of play. And that, my friends, is a souvenir. Big Chris Wells, and I do mean big. Wells at 6'6", 215 pounds. He's only 16 years of age. That guy consumes an awful lot of groceries every week.
He sure does, and the poor Bills here in Seattle have to feed him, of course, and I don't know if they get paid well enough, but I'm sure you know, they have a bright future in store for this young guy. Peter Anholt sending out Duncan, Wells, and Queering out for that line. 3 pretty big customers trying to stir something in the Kamloops end.
Blazers win the drop. Shane Green sent it ahead to Mathers. Tied up nicely by Sayre. Green trailing the play, has the puck, centers. Big hit. Bodies everywhere. McCausland was at the bottom of it. And a whistle from across the ice from referee Brad Watson. A Blazer is down.
Looks like it might be Shane Green. Looked like he was grabbing his ankle.
Someone came sliding through and took out everybody. There's Green going into the boards. A good hit. And here comes a Thunderbird pushed by a Blazer. That wiped Green out. That was McCausland. I don't think there will be any penalties on the play.
No, it looked like incidental contact, and it just upended Green.
Lawlisher pushed McCausland, who went right into Green. The knees very vulnerable in the sport of hockey. In fact, the Blazers lost a pretty good defenseman, Craig Bonner, to a knee injury earlier in the playoffs. And I'm sure that was a concern to both coaches coming into this hockey game. Don't lose anybody to injury, because the same two teams will square off here in the Coliseum Saturday in the semifinal game. Tom Rennie talking to his team, and I'm sure he's worried How about Shane Green? 11th round draft pick of the Minnesota North Stars. He had 99 points this year.
Not a good sign that Shane Green won't be able to skate off the ice under his own strength. A couple teammates helping him off. Like you said, this was the one concern that, you know, both coaches had coming into this game, was losing a key instrumental player for Saturday's semifinal.
Green, who is 20, out of Kelowna, British Columbia. There used to be a Western Hockey League team in Kelowna. It is now the Spokane Chiefs.
Shane Green had a good year for Seattle, or for Kamloops, I should say. Scoring 43 goals, second on the team.
Kelowna also producing another big Western Hockey League star, and now a guy who's having a good career in the NHL, Brent Gilchrist.
Oh, of course. Brent Gilchrist playing for the Montreal Canadiens. I remember playing against Brent Gilchrist my first year, and I have to admit he did score a few on me.
There is Shane Green.
Looks like he's obviously in some kind of pain.
Well, Bob Brown has seen a lot of mentally tough players in his time. Guys like Hoggood and Recchi. Brown's son was a pretty good player too, Rob Brown, who is now playing for Chicago. You'll see him here on Saturday night.
Sure will.
Campbell Conference, game 1. Back to action, 9.5 left. Still a 3-1 lead. Chapman up for Stevenson. Turner in the right circle with a shot, and it's wide of Hirsch. Corey Hirsch has not been tested in this third period. Stevenson out front, and the Thunderbirds got the bodies, can't get it. Sebastian breaks up a possible breakaway as the pass ahead for Boyer was taken away. Boy, the Thunderbirds had the numbers, they had the puck where they wanted it, but no one could control and send it towards Hirsch. Osgood up to Kennedy. Up for Maruschuk. Kurtzer bounces it ahead. Kennedy finds Maruschuk up for Zajankala, puts it down, shoots it wide. Sidor escaping Maruschuk. There's Zajankala waiting for him though. George sends it back. Down goes Sidor, trying to hold on to it. Kennedy digs it out. Sidor gets it back, plays it around. Steve Ewell up ahead for Dueling. Finds Patterson. Former Thunderbird shoots off Sebastian's skate. Jeff Sebastian trying to clear. Out across the line comes Dwayne Maruschuk. Seattle down by 2. We're under 8 minutes left in the third. Joel Dick looking up ice. Pass a little too hard, and it goes into the Kamloops zone. McCausland, who's been shifted back to the blue line here, tries to carry it out. Kick saved by Osgood, turning away Dueling. Wells up for Bouchard. Back goes Niedermeyer. He's had a hand in all 3 scores, a goal and 2 assists. Craig Lyon sends it in. Stopped by Osgood. Off to McCausland. Up for Quiring. And here comes Seattle. A 3-on-3 with Wells leading it in. Right side. Can't get by Niedermeyer. Few people can. Wells escapes though. Can't center the puck. Niedermeyer's got the loose one. He'll play it out. 2-on-2. Lions at the end of his shift simply sends it in.
Blazers playing real smart, making the easy pass, the smart play, and they're just, once they gain control of the red line, just dumping it in.
Duncan rolls it in. Sayre plays it ahead. Blazers back up ice. Daryl Sidor. Osgood up for Nichols. There comes Seattle. Brett Duncan, a late season acquisition. Around behind Hirsch. And the Blazers, as we've seen all night long, break it out quickly. Osgood trying to play it out himself. He does. Darren McCausland adds some speed to the blue line, and all of a sudden the ice opens up. McCausland with a shot, and it's wide. Lawlisher bumped by McCausland. Zajankla keeps it in. George trying to center. Dooling bounces it off of the referee, Brad Watson, and it's out through center into the Seattle zone. Under 6 minutes left. Third period, 3-1 Kamloops. Mike Kennedy plays it ahead. McCausland trailing the play, poked away by Todd Johnson. And a slash, a penalty, a power play coming up when we get back.
This is just one of the many parts you can play as a young Red Cross volunteer. Volunteer and play your part.
Well, the Wales Conference gets underway on Sunday. The Bruins and the Penguins live right here on Prime Sports Northwest. You liked Edmonton, did you? In the Campbell. Who do you like in the Wales?
It's hard to go against the defending Cup champions. I say Pittsburgh.
Is Lemieux coming back? I've heard rumors today that maybe that wrist injury is going to heal in a hurry.
Well, they might fit him with a playing cast, and that would definitely be a boost, but they closed out the Rangers without him.
That's right. Jaromir Jagr.
Phenomenal, that guy.
5.5 left here. Brendan Witt from a tough angle, and Hirsch cut it down. Witt got it back, but couldn't tee it up. Thunderbirds are on the power play. Scott Laux is in the box. Seattle's power play really has sputtered the last 2 nights.
This is a necessity for Seattle to score here to make a late charge, as we're getting near the last 5 minutes of play.
15 minutes of hockey in this third period. Seattle has just 1 goal, or 1 shot. They wish they had a goal. 3-1, Kamloops on top.
This just shows the poise that the Blazers have. You know, they've been here, you know, time and time again, and they have such good experience on the back line with, you know, we've been saying it all night, Niedermeyer and Sador and Ewell and, you know, the youngster Wilkie. You know, it's been very hard for Seattle to even get any good quality shots.
Kennedy and Boyer. Boyer controls. Sador shorthanded. Into the Seattle zone. Well, if the Thunderbirds are going to make a stand, it's probably going to be right here. On the power play, down by 2, 5 minutes left in the third. Joel Dick brings it across offsides. And that, kind of in a nutshell, tells the story of the Thunderbird power play.
Of course, we can't overlook the Blazers forwards, as they have done a very good job coming back in their back checking roles, filling lanes, picking up late men. Of course, playing defense is a team concept, and the Blazers have the forwards who can also stifle a team.
Chris Osgood looking up to the clock, and he sees only 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third. Halfway through the Seattle power play, Sador clears it. What new? Osgood will leave it behind. Here comes McCausland. Finds Maruschuk. He got a lot of speed. Trying to get by Niedermeyer. Rolls it in. Kennedy in the corner. Thunderbird snipe has been silent tonight. Maruschuk finds McCausland with a shot, and Hirsch got a piece of it. Zajankla back behind for Kennedy, and it's up over the boards and out of play. Dwayne Maruschuk and the Seattle Thunderbirds are starting to get a few more shots on the power play, Danny, but
well, they don't have anyone in front really to create a screen on Corey Hirsch. He's able to see the point shot, and of course that doesn't work unless you have someone to interfere with the goaltender. Dwayne Maruschuk from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, 19 years old.
PA is a very cold place in the winter. That's about all I know about Prince Albert, and that they play very, very good hockey. Mike Modano, the first pick of the NHL draft a few years back, now with the Minnesota North Stars. He played his junior hockey at Prince Albert.
Now excelling in the North Stars.
Yeah.
Playing very well.
Sayre at a point, down low for Stevenson. Turner shoots it up. Sebastian, he'll send it in. Wow, it just went right by Hirsch. Sayre races over trying to keep it in. He can't, and the offsides is going to bring the drop outside the Kamloops zone. We're under 4 minutes left. Steve Ewell and the Kamloops Blazers could go 2-1 in the Memorial Cup with a win here tonight. The Thunderbirds would drop to 1-2, and it would set up the Saturday semifinal game between this man's team, the Kamloops Blazers. Tom Rennie would be facing the Birds again.
I think more than that, it would the Thunderbirds would really start questioning themselves. Can we beat the Blazers? You know, the last 2 times they've played them, beaten on home ice both times.
Here's Sebastian with a shot. Hirsch makes the glove save and holds it. You saw the picture of Tom Rennie, the Kamloops coach. He succeeded Ken Hitchcock, who for many years was the head coach in Kamloops. Hitchcock is now the #1 assistant in Philadelphia to Bill Dineen.
Yes, Ken Hitchcock, of course, built quite a regime in Kamloops, and Rennie has followed suit, not slacking off at all. Of course, the Flyers have had some rough couple years now, missing playoff in successive years.
That's not easy to do in the in the NHL, where just about everybody makes the playoffs. But the Flyers trying to go with the youth movement. Sayre with a shot, and it's deflected. Ewell trying to clear. Power play comes to a close. Wells turns it around. Chris Wells, a wraparound. Never got rid of it. Sador clears the puck. Down into the Seattle zone. 3.5 minutes left. Wells stopped along the boards by Sador. Sebastian goes back to collect it. Looks back up ice. Bouchard is bumped. Sador sends it in. A 3-1 Kamloops lead with 3 minutes left. Kennedy in. Outnumbered though. Drops it to a point. Maruschuk right back to Kennedy. He'll give it off to Dick. In the slot. He'll shoot wide as Hirsch was way out to cut down the angle. Out to McCausland for a shot. And it ping-pongs into the far right corner. Kennedy out front. Maruschuk shoots. Yeah, he might have hit the post. A rebound by Dick. Backhand saved by Hirsch. And it rolled right through the crease. Kennedy, as the Thunderbirds are putting on the pressure. Dick behind the net. Back out to Kennedy. Hit hard along the boards. Blazers clear the puck. McCausland back to get it. 2:25 left.
Well, that's what the Thunderbirds were looking for, but Corey Hirsch making his best saves of the period. Coming up big for the Blazers.
Todd Johnson and McCausland. Dick clears. Kennedy tied up by Dooling. Down to 2 minutes left. Do you pull your goaltender down 2 goals?
Well, it doesn't matter much if they do score one, 3 or 4-1. It doesn't really matter.
Back in around behind. Osgood is still in net with 1:45 left. Here come the Blazers. Sador sends it in with a purpose. Osgood keeps it in the corner. Out front, Dooling a backhand, loose in the slot, out to neutral ice. And sent back in. A 3-1 Kamloops lead. Brandon Witt hit by Watchorn. Up to Chapman. He's bumped by Ewell. Penalty coming up on the Thunderbirds. Rod Stevens in alone without help from his friends. A lot of Thunderbirds in there. Stevenson touches, and the Birds, maybe appropriately, are going to finish this game shorthanded. Down 3-1 to the Kamloops Blazers. Some people would say Seattle has not played well tonight, but you have to remember Kamloops is the #1 team in the Canadian Hockey League. And they're a team that everyone expects to win this Memorial Cup.
Of course, they were favored coming into it, and I think a lot of people were surprised that they lost to the Greyhounds 6-3. But of course they rebounded and beat Verdun pretty handily. And it looks like Seattle quite handily, 3-1.
That's the cross check that got Brendan Witt in hot water, or the penalty box, so to speak. Well, we hope that on Saturday you'll be out here at the Coliseum, fans in the Seattle area and anyone in the Northwest that would like to see some great hockey. It happens this weekend. Saturday at 1 o'clock, the semifinal game between the Blazers and the Thunderbirds, and the championship game on Sunday between Sault Ste. Marie and the winner of that Saturday game. Witt, 2 minutes for high sticking. Blazers' 8th power play of the night. Wilkie will weave his way out to center and send it in. Strange bounce. Osgood will cover.
I think a key for Saturday's game for the Thunderbirds coming in will be establishing a lead. You know, the Blazers play such a poised, patient game, you know, with the lead, and they know how to defend one. So if